let's come down and flow onto our mats. So, coming down into a child's pose to begin this morning's practice. I might scoot a little bit closer. It's always interesting. Can you see me? Good morning. So bring your mat maybe outside because it's going to be another beautiful day today. And once you've got a nice platform upon which you are going to practice, let's bring the hips down to meet the heels. Whoop and whoop. And get nice and cozy in our child's pose. Tuck the chin in. Spend a little moment repositioning. Maybe you want to take a little bit of movement and shake out those if you've had any tension. Feeling fingers, toes. Each breath. Notice the rhythms in your body, the beating of your heart, the feeling of the blood as it flows in that river through your body. The rise and fall of each breath. The drumbeat of energy and life. When you've connected in to that, it invites you to dance with your body this morning. Sometimes those rhythms might get faster. You might find that you might start to breathe a little quicker. Sometimes these rhythms will be slow and invite. You might find you breathe. Stay with the breath. Stay with sensation. Let it be the anchor that you really connect with in your practice. As you inhale, we'll come up onto the fingertips. We can just stretch a little bit more through the shoulders, get that head nice and long, wiggle out those hips, and then we'll roll forward, and we're coming almost into a cobra straight away. So bend into the elbows, open up your chest, exhale, ripple back. Beautiful. Flow, elbows bend, drop it down, heart lifts, exhale, round and reach. Your fingers go a little bit further. Come up, roll down, and this time we'll come closer to the earth. Keep the elbows hugging in. Think of cobras hiding. Lift up, reach it back. 3 more times. Maybe now you move to a cat pose. Round, drop down. Cat curl. And drop. Inhale, lift, round, melt, and drop. Exhale, vibrant life elevates the body and then invites it to descend. One more time, round, heart forward leads the way. Earth. Inhale, lift, and curl, and descend. A little look under each armpit now. Just begin to wake up the side body. And then you're ready. Hands will come back towards the hips. We'll come up into a little sunflower salute. Bring the hands up high. Maybe you want to reach the hips forward and take a little bit of a back bend. Just feel the day glorious dawning above. As we exhale, hands come behind. Think of a rabbit pose, round through your spine. Take your nose and place it near your knees. As you inhale, fingertips brush the floor, lift up. Exhale, rabbit pose, hands come behind, stretch out the shoulders as you find the earth. 2 more times, inhale. And exhale. Feel how that breath really begins to liven the body. Inhale. And exhale. Tuck it in. Inhale all the way up. And now like we're going for a swim. Just find that movement through the trunk. Look back and follow your thumb. We'll go the other side. Just slowly spiraling those hands side by side. Moving the hips forward like a little camel pose. If you need the support, bring the opposite hand to the back as you take the motion through. It'll just make you feel that you've got a little bit more support, particularly if your spine is feeling a little sore or tight this morning. One more time, other side. And then both hips gently move forward, squeeze the elbows together, lift up and out of the way. So the hands are almost lifting up those shoulder blades. Then you can press the hips forward, maybe let the chin lift. We're not trying to overstress that neck, still early. Just a gentle press forward. Like grandpa. On a day you just need to stretch out the back. And then we'll come forward and we'll go the opposite way. Come up into fingertips. And you can dome a little bit more through the shoulders as you round in and completely hollow the front body. Tuck in, think of pelvis and nose, all drawing into navel. And then drop it down. Let's thread the needle. Thread the right hand. As we inhale, left hand comes up. As we exhale, roll through. We're going to flow this one, so don't drop too far down. Inhale, lift, press into right hand. Roll through the chest and exhale, come all the way down like a bowling ball, I like to think. Inhale, lift, open the heart. Exhale, flow with the breath. 2 more times. Inhale, lift. And exhale, release. Inhale, lift. And exhale. This time we're coming down, melting to the floor. And this might be enough for you. Just releasing out that left shoulder. Maybe right hand comes up. Maybe you reach around, grab a hold of left thigh, or just place that hand on the back. Think of chicken winging out through the right elbow. And then relax. Hips stay above knees. Eyes can close. Smell the grass if you're in the backyard. Really important that we get a chance to get out and connect with nature. Particularly if you're feeling a little bit more confined these days. Get outside and just enjoy that vast open sky. Let it remind you of space. Inhale, right hand comes up. Bring the hand down. And as you come up, we're just going to touch onto that shoulder. Just take some little circles. Just motioning and moving through the shoulder joint. Other way. I'm going to turn it around as we take the other side. You can stay where you are and prepare by spreading the fingers of your left hand. As you inhale, the right hand's going to lift. We're going to rotate through the chest. As we exhale, keep the anchoring point of knees and hips and just flow the upper body down. Keep moving with breath. Inhale, lift. And exhale, roll and release. Inhale, lift. Exhale, roll and release. Inhale it. Exhale, roll and release. 2 more, inhale it. Exhale, release. Inhale it. And this one's for keeps. So as you exhale, get down nice and low. Plant yourself into the earth. Bring the hand across. Gently motion the body over onto that right shoulder blade. And maybe that's enough. Left hand just as a point of contact with the floor. Maybe left hand comes up, you're bringing it onto the back. Maybe left hand reaches around and it finds that right thigh. As long as you're opening up through that left shoulder and the breath is moving out to fill the sides of the ribs. Hands can go soft. Give it 5, and 4, and 3, and 2, and 1. We'll bring the hand all the way up, bring it down, lift, and open. Both hands come down. Let's set up for sunburn. You want the length of your plank here. So think of it as a plank, and if you're feeling really super keen this morning, you can do this in a plank. Wow. Maybe, maybe not. We'll inhale, lift the hand up. Exhale, drop it down. We're going to swap between the two. A little bit of contralateral movement is good for the brain. Reach, left hand, right leg. Swap it down. Right hand, left leg. And release. Left hand, right leg. And release. One more time. Right hand. Just feel the back body waking up. Right body remains engaged. And left one. And all the way back. And let's release out that right shoulder from before. Little slow circles. One way. And then the other. Beautiful. Spread the hands. Take a nice long stance. Tuck your toes. Let's come into a downward facing dog. So the hips move up and back. Now you want to step your feet at least hip distance apart. And have a little bit of broadness in your ankles so there's no tension on the knee joint. You can wiggle your hips here. Press out from the shoulder heads. So really push the earth away. Slide the shoulder blades down the back. And notice the head. Work with breath. I like to wiggle the hips. Wag the tail of the dog in the morning. Just to remember that I'm happy and I'm ready to get going for the day. And then drop the knees down. We'll take a puppy pose. So keep the hips above the knees. Bring the hands forward and just look between the thumbs. Maybe look down, see the grass. Hopefully not seeing too many dust bunnies in the carpet. Breath is going to fill the back ribs. So you can feel that rhythm, that pulsation of breath. Just arising you from the floor and dropping you down into its embrace. A few more breaths here. And then we'll flow it all the way up. Walk the hands back in. And just turn the palms around now. So you've got your fingertips facing at your knees. We'll take a cat pose this way. Round and curl through the spine. Tuck the chin in. And then I invite you to make it a core exercise. How much air can you squeeze from the belly? Activating that core. And bring it back. We're going to make sure that the feet are nice and wide here. The hands are going to come in. We're moving back into Malasana Yogi Squat. So we're going to tuck those toes out to the side as we drop the heels back and reach forward. And keep a curve in the spine. Think of your fingertips reaching as you anchor your tail down. And then aren't quite comfortable. You might want to take a little duck walk around your backyard if you feel like it this morning. Now, as you've got that nice open stance across the ankles, your hands can rise up. Rise. Like you're looking at the sunlight, just filling that space between your hands. Your heart is a cup. Use the breath to draw that light down. Fill up the heart space. I'm going to open it out to the side. Right hand to the right, left hand to the left. Whoa. It was a side twist. Left hand comes onto the back. Right fingers can meet the floor. Drop the hips down. Inhale, left hand comes up. Hand's going to meet at the heart. And then we'll do the other side. Left hand down, right hand up. Open. Expand across the chest. As you exhale, hand comes down. Chicken wing. Woo, I'm going to fall over. Hand comes back up. Woo. Hands meet at the heart. Let's topple forward. Topple forward as we lift the hips up. Now you can have as much a bend in the knee as you need to keep your belly and your thighs supporting each other. That's going to keep your back feeling safe. If that's not enough, if you've got any back problems, bring your hands onto your legs, create a little brace. We're all going to move into a wide-legged chair pose here. So we're going to sit the weight back into the heels as we lift the chest and draw the chin, and you'll feel a curve in your spine. The heart comes forward. Now we're going to exhale, round and ripple. I'm going to come up as we do this. Inhale, weight still comes back, but the chest is a little bit higher. We're walking that spine up to straight. Exhale, round and tuck the chin. This time it's only a little bend, the upper body coming forward. And then we'll step all the way up. Preparing for sun salutations. Walking to the front of the mat, letting the hands come all the way up high. We find our Urdhva Hastasana, upward salute. As we exhale, as much of a bend in the knees as you need to as you hinge from the hips and trickle the fingertips down to meet the floor. Inhale, hands onto the shins, maybe hands on the earth, halfway lift. Roll open through the seat. Exhale, drop down a little bit deeper. Hips are high. Hands find the earth. Walk, step, jump back. We'll meet in a plank pose. Extend the body all the way out. Spend a little moment here. Just feel down to your hands. Set up your Surihasta, your sun hands. So you've got a nice base of support. And then press the earth away as you energize through the shoulders. Maybe knees down, no knees down as you come into Chaturanga. Draw the heart forward. Lower yourself, belly and chest hits the floor at the same time. Inhale, roll and lift the head up. Cobra. Exhale, drop down and relax. Inhale, elbows in, press up and away. Hips meet the heels. Child. Inhale, flow with the breath. Maybe move to that cat shape, always feels delightful. And then tuck the toes, gentle inversion into our downward facing dog. Broaden out those feet if you need to. Beautiful. I'm going to invite you to come into tip tops. So come into the tops of your toes and then walk in a cross pattern across your mat as you come up to the front. So left foot to the right, right leg to the left. And just warming up that brain a little bit more. Oh. Bend the knees when you need to. There'll be a point where you're just not going to move anymore, and that's okay. Relax the weight into the toes. Let the head drop down, grab opposite shoulders, and relax. When you inhale, hands come all the way up, nice and high. Reach, 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 nice and tall. Step the feet together. And we'll use the right hand to clasp the left as we reach up and over to the left side. Coming into a little crescent moon. Inhale up, and we'll do the other side. Press the hips out, reach the hips to the left. Just drop the left shoulder back to keep it a true side bend. And then all the way back to center. Hands high to the sky. Got the legs together now. Just take a little separation of the heels so the inner tips of the knees can squeeze, and we'll sit it back into a chair pose. My favorite pose. Draw the belly in. Which is exactly why I should visit it more often. And yet somehow, it's not in my practice all that often. Let the heart lift up. Drop it down. Draw the weight back. Slide the shins towards the heels. 3, belly in. 2, smile. It will pass. 1, dive forward. Oh. Walk, step, jump it back. We're going to find a plank pose. Spread the fingers nice and wide and come back. Alright, let's flow through that vinyasa again. Knees to the floor, elbows in. Let the earth embrace you as you drop down. Inhale, now rise. Lift yourself away. Exhale, a gentle prostration as you meet the earth. And inhale, that fiery breath draws hips to heels and releases into child. Inhale, come forward. Tuck the toes, hips up and back. Adho Mukha Svanasana. Inhale, this time right leg is going to lift up nice and high. Exhale, curl through the spine as you take the knee to the nose. Think of cat pose. We'll step it for warrior 1. So step the right foot right up near that right thumb. Left foot comes out a little bit, so you've got the span of the hips. The heel drops down. Right knee bends, and we slowly lift up. Nice and slow. I'm going to shorten my stance this morning. Hands come up high. Hands are going to meet in front. I'm going to be really intelligent. Move the right shin bone and the right thigh forward. and then slowly pull back through the center of the heel. So I'm using the body and the muscles rather than just dropping into the joints. Engage the glutes, let the heart stay lifted, and then we'll fold down and we'll come back to downward facing dog. Step the right leg back, meet in a plank, and through that little vinyasa again, elbows to the floor, belly and chest same time. Easy to say, hard to do. Inhale, roll up, and exhale, lower down. Inhale, keep dancing with the breath. It's going to draw you through your practice. Hips to heels. Inhale, rise. I like the cat pose. It just prepares the spine by curling it, and then I can invite it to lengthen as I find downward facing dog. Open through the seat. Find that space in the heel so there's no tension in the knee. Inhale, left leg floats to the sky. Exhale, round and curl, knee to nose. Plant the foot down. Find the span across the legs, just so there's no overpressuring. I'm on a little slightly shorter stance today, just so I'm not tensioning into the hamstring. I want to lengthen the hamstring, but I don't want to injure it in any way. Inhale, lift the heart, spread the toes, and then be really intelligent. Think about, and I'm going to move that foot forward because I don't want my knee to come over my ankle joint, but think about firing up the leg muscles and moving forward as you turn right hip and gently gather left hip back. Heart arises, and we take a few breaths, just feeling that rhythmic pulse of prana, a life force moving in the body. Slow breath in. We embody Vimandrasana, the warrior. And then we'll dive it down. Find the hands to the floor. Step it back, high plank pose. So step back, other leg meets. And from here, Vinyasa, you can just move straight to a dog if you want to chill out. And you know how yoga teachers always say that downward facing dog is a resting position. You can have an active rest. You can flow through and find a Vinyasa if that's your practice today. Inhale it. Exhale, lower. Maybe lift the hips up. Press. Hips to heels. And reach it up and back. And downward face the dog. Wiggle, wiggle, wiggle. Hands nice and wide. Work those shoulders onto the back. Walk, step, jump. If you're working for a jump today, think of your legs like little springboards. Feel that little woo. Want to lift away from the earth. And think light. Wow. We're not so heavy as we think. Hands come down. Rest the weight forward. Now, not a thing I'm looking forward to, but something I definitely should do. Toes together will arise through chair pose, sliding the weight back, letting the heart lift. Chin up. Reach back. Draw that belly in. 5 and 5. Gotta love the number 5. More 5s. 4, 3, 2, 1. All the way up. Bring the hands to the heart for a moment. Move the hips forward. A little release. Maybe you want to stretch out the neck. All the way back to center. Nice and slow. I'm just going to turn around. You can stay exactly where you are. And we'll move through Asari Namaskar C. And separate your feet hip distance apart. As you inhale, lift up nice and tall. That upward salute. Exhale, hinge at the hips. Brace the hands onto the knees if you need that a little bit of extra support as you fold down Uttanasana. Inhale, halfway lift. Spine is long, belly is in. Exhale, drop to the floor. We'll step the left leg back. We're coming into low lunge. So press back, big long runner's lunge, and then drop the knee down. Let's inhale and float the breath up. And then we're going to take those little rotations. So you can bring the hand onto the back if you need to as you spiral the right hand back. Look towards the thumb, but not in a way that pressurizes the neck. And then a few more. Slowly lifting, and then looking and just turning, moving away. So if that's too much on your shoulder joint, just make it a smaller motion so the shoulder's not stressed. I might take the easier variation this morning. My shoulders want a little massage, they don't want any stress. You can just roll through the ribs to begin to open up the chest. Beautiful. Reach all the way up now and press the left hip forward, and then we'll let the hands come down and meet the earth. Lift the back leg, move it back, downward facing dog. From a downward facing dog, we're going to set up for our 8-pointed pose. To the knees to the floor, also known as knees, chest, chin. So we'll keep the hips high, let the heart come down, elbows squeeze in, chin comes forward. As we lift, you can reach the legs back, slide through, find cobra. Inhale, drop to the floor. Up, draw them back to meet the heels. Child's pose. Inhale, flow. Tuck for toes, hips up and back, downward facing dog. Shake, shake, shake out that tail. Shake, shake, shake out that head. Beautiful. Left leg's going to lift. This time we come to high lunge. Inhale, left leg goes high. Exhale, let's find that rounding and curling. Round, round, round. Put the foot down. We keep that same train track parallel positioning of the feet. Hip distance apart. As we inhale, we'll find the strength in the legs. Pull right hip forward to stretch out that hip flexor. Pull left hip back. Beautiful. Shoulders gather down the back. Lift the chin up. Slide the ears between the shoulders. Find your high lunge. Just notice knee and ankle alignment. I do miss the studio's mirrors in these moments. Beautiful. Bring the hands down to the floor. We're going to step that right foot out towards the left. So just step it off the mat, just for a little bit of different stretch. I'm just working into that hip flexor a different way. Just making sure there's no tensioning of the knee if you need to bring the knee forward. Then we're going to step it back into a forward fold at the front of the mat. Inhale, lift, spring the leg up, place it down, and hinge forward by softening the belly and letting it rest on the thighs. Soften the back of the knees. Inhale, halfway lift, fingertips to the floor maybe, hands onto the legs maybe, bend in the knees maybe, whatever you need for your body. Inhale all the way up, so use the strength of the legs and the core to rise you up high. Let the hands reach towards the heavens, and then draw the hands down that midline, Samasthiti. Second side. Inhale, hands float. Breath fills the lungs. Exhale, we fold, we melt. Maybe bend, maybe we need that softness, and that's okay. Inhale, halfway lift. And exhale, fold down. Right leg steps back this time. We set up for that low lunge. So take the leg all the way back, create the space, press the heel back and keep the thigh cap engaged. Then drop it down, kneecap and thigh. So just turn them into one, thigh cap, come all the way up. Press the right hip forward, Anjalyasana. Now we're going to work, you can bring the right hand to support the back if you need to, and just rotate out that left shoulder. Now if it's too much on the neck, you don't need to turn it. Maybe you've got a range of motion that the body likes. And maybe you're going to come with me and take the little bit easier version today. If the shoulder doesn't want that much of a rotation early on, just let the hand touch the elbow, hand touch the shoulder, and we'll move this way, a little bit gentle. Keep drawing the hips forward though, and keep the breath traveling up the belly as you exhale and down the spine. 3 more times, and the hand lifts up and we press forward. Beautiful. Stretching out the hip flexor. When you're ready, hands will find the floor. We'll step it back, downward facing dog. So lift the back leg, step it back, spread those fingers and those feet as wide as you need to. Maybe a little pedal here. Maybe you're ready for stillness. The legs feel nice and long. Press the floor away. Engage into the back. Let it power up your dog. Let's move through our knees, chest, chin. Float the knees down to the floor. Let them land beneath the hips. Draw the chin out. And then we'll drop down. Just smell the grass. Bring the hips back. Roll yourself up Bhujangasana. Exhale, melt with the exhale. Inhale, lift. Ride the breath back to the heels. Inhale, flow forward. Tuck the toes, hips up and back. Adho Mukha Svanasana. Downward facing dog. Beautiful. Let's come back to that three-legged dog. Inhale, right leg lifts, reach it up, press it to the sky. Exhale, roll forward onto the ball of the foot, knee to nose, and plant it near the thumb. So find those train track distance apart legs, and we rise into our Chandrasana. Inhale, breath lifts you up. And just noticing that knee and ankle alignment. I find one side of my hip tends to pull, so I have to be really conscious. Just find what's happening in your body. Notice, is there a tightness somewhere? What does your body need to enjoy the fullness of this pose? Press down to heel, lengthen big toe out, and imagine that you're ripping the mat apart to keep the legs active. And then we'll bring the hands down. Let's step that left foot. Just make sure you're not tensioning the right knee. So if you need to take it forward, that's fine. Take the left foot over towards the right. Just step it back. You'll feel that twist and just create that lovely release. Working into the hip, into that back hip flexor. We're going to step it into our Uttanasana. So find a little bit of spring and bounce in that back leg. Engage the core. Think of cat pose. Lift it up. Place it down. Soften the knees and just take a little sway for a few breaths and catch the breath. If that more energetic part of our standing poses required the body to fire a little bit more power in. Sometimes the breath will be slow and relaxed. Sometimes it'll be a little bit more fiery, and that's all okay. Make sure that there's no pulling in the back here. Bring the hands and support the body if you need to. If there's any tensioning in that back, you don't want to place pressure on that psoas. As you inhale, begin to rise all the way up. Rise, rise, rise. Hands reach up, find the sky. Hands come down the midline. We're going to step it out into Pasarita Padottanasana. So a big wide stance. Woo! Into our mountain pose. I want to plant those feet. Not a very solid mountain there. As you press out through the toe mound and connect those pads of the toes to the floor, just think of pushing the mat apart, rip it apart, turn on those inner thighs. Gentle engagement of the glutes, get that nice long spine. Just be mindful of the natural curve. We'll bring the hands down to the pelvic bowl as we bring the feet in, come into a little goddess pose. Maybe I like to slowly sink it down and just let my hips get in there nice and juicy before I jam down. And again, that sometimes if we force the body, it doesn't like that. No one likes to be forced to do things. Bring the hands on and just move the bowl of the pelvis like there's water, sloshing it forward and sloshing it back. Whew. Melt the breath into this movement. Very much that earth goddess. It's called goddess or temple pose, and you can probably see why the elements that the body is taking on. Oh, have a little look at those knees and those ankles. Press out and bring the hands down. And from here, little drops of the shoulders, just to twist and move the spine. So look towards the right shoulder as you drop the left shoulder down. Lengthen out that left arm and then come back to center, and we'll do the other side. Look towards left shoulder, press right thigh away, and then all the way back over towards the right shoulder as you press left shoulder away. Come back, and the other side. And all the way back. Let the fingertips find the floor. Now we can take the toes and align them with the heels. You can even pigeon toe the toes in if you don't have any problems in your back. Any sciatica pain, this probably isn't your option. Let's come forward. Weight drifts into the toes, the back of the legs lift. You can have a micro bend of the knee if you need to. Lift up the arches of the feet. And let yourself fold deep. Slow breath in. And a slow breath out. Slow breath in. I want to walk the hands through. So if you flip the palms, walk the fingers, and then bend the elbows, it'll help pull you in a little bit more. And hands come to the floor. Alright, watch the transition. We're going to step the right leg out to the left. So you bring your right hand down, step the right leg out to the left, and drop all the way to the floor. Bring the left leg in front, and for a moment, just press that left hand into left knee, look up nice and tall. And you can bring your gaze back over towards the right, just so you're broadening out that chest, little release and stretch. Bring the right hand in near the right hip, and then hinge forward and try and reach for your toes. You can take the gaze towards the right shoulder. Give a little bit of work in the right tricep here, so you don't headbutt the floor. It's a good time to work so you don't get too cozy with the earth. Lift all the way up and just swing over onto the back. A few little reverse tabletops here. So we'll just take the toes and align them with the heels. Align the heels of the sit bones. You can turn those hands in and turn the hands out if it's too much strain on your wrists. Take a little bend into the elbows. Embrace that engagement of the back. As you inhale, lift. As you exhale, drop. Just a few times to keep that movement. Lift and release. 2 more times. Lift, release, lift, and release. Beautiful. Let's come all the way back to where we were. So we're going to swing that left leg in front, right leg out. Swing, swing, swing. Or we could just hop straight into that Pasarita Padottanasana. Oh. Step those feet back in line. I'm going to take the second side. So the left hand is going to be our leverage point to the earth. We're going to step the left leg behind the right. So step it all the way down. Let the hips melt to the floor. We're ready for the second side. Bring the right foot forward. Flex into the left leg. Right hand out to the side just so you can open up and create that broad space across the heart. Let the chin maybe come over to the left, but just let the shoulders drop down away from the ears. Notice if you're tensioning, if you've got any tightness in the glutes, you might feel that you're squeezing into the face. Can you relax the breath, relax the jaw? 3 and 2 and 1. I'm going to reach it forward now. Bring the elbow in, reach, reach, reach. Maybe grab a hold of those toes, look to the side. If the positioning of the hand is awkward, just take it into a new spot. Keep the knee up, keep the foot connected, and drop it down. 5, 4, good work for the triceps. 3 and 2 and 1. We'll come all the way up, and we're going to swing over and set up. I'm just going to move around this way, but you can swing your legs out in front and set up for some forward folds. After those back bends, really nice to balance things up. So we'll bring the right leg in, and then like half a butterfly wing, just open the right leg to the side, bring the foot and place it onto the left thigh, reposition the legs, look at your toes, imagine you're going to kiss them. So in a yin pose, we would allow the rounding of the spine. We're a little bit more yang today. So we're going to gently brace into the core. On the exhale, just begin to firm into the belly. And as you inhale, begin to invite the body to extend. And look to those toes. And I like to shake out the neck here. So sometimes in practice, we can bring some tension into the shoulders. We're trying so hard to bring the body into certain shapes that we can overdo it a little bit. So it's nice now. Hey body, just let go. Work with the breath. We'll stay here for a little while. And you notice that being down here, moving into a forward fold, which is so calming, so quickly moves us closer to that engagement with our parasympathetic nervous system. You notice how you just calm. The breath just quietens, becomes subtler. You can sip the breath in, like you're drinking in a vintage wine, and you can let the breath go, like you're riding the exhalation as an elevator into a deeper expression of the stretch. Stay in breath. 5 and 4, 3, 2, and 1. We'll come up, and I'm going to go for a little row. So your left elbow is going to come behind you. Create as much space as you need to. Pick your right leg up and just hold the outside of your foot. Now imagine your foot is a telephone. You're going to listen to your telephone. So this morning my hips are saying that my telephone's going to be quite far from my ear. Eventually you're going to tap your knee down to the floor and really get that curve of the arch of the foot to be the receiver of your telephone. But maybe not today. And that's okay. Alright. Oh, that's nice and good to loosen things up. Bring the foot down. You can let the hands come down. Just imagine you're at the beach. And then use the core and the strength of your arms to press yourself all the way up. We'll come into a little seated twist. Keep the toes lifted. Bring the right leg over the top. Find a nice grounded balance across your sit bones. Right hand comes around. Left hand can wrap in. Just help you lengthen out that trunk. And then we move from the ribs so the head's the last thing to rotate. Let the breath walk up and down the column of the spine. That's why I'm going to keep the elbow around so I can massage the belly. Get it ready for its morning ritual of a nice healthy breakfast. Slow breath in. And a big slow breath out. One more time, big breath in. And a big slow breath out. And we'll come all the way back to center, and we're ready for that second side. So the right leg can come out. Let's scoop that left knee in and then open it out to the side and just bring the foot to press onto the thigh and then set yourself up. So I like to ground down because when we sit down we can sit up, and then we'll begin to trickle those fingertips forward and layer by layer invite the body to drop in. Any pressure in your knee, so if there's a pulling in your hamstring or if there's a tension in one side of the back, you might want to bend the knee rather than straining into the joints. You should feel the stretch moving away from the body. That's tension. That's when we're getting rid of things. The movement coming back into some of the joints. So if you're feeling a jamming into your knee or your hip, that means you're in compression, and that's where we can move into injury. So if you need to take a little bend in your knee, that's okay. Listen to your body. Just feel those subtle flows of energy and they'll direct you deeper into your practice. When you're ready, slowly lift yourself up. And then we're going to come back and row out through that leg. So bring the elbow back into a space that you feel comfortable. Bring your left hand up and grab a hold of the outside of your foot. And then you're just going to try and reach back and touch your knee to the ground beneath you. We'll do it about 6 or so times. So you don't need to go too far. You've got a few repetitions for the body to warm into it. Oh dear. Do you believe the sandflies have found me? Hello sandflies. Come all the way up. And we'll swing that leg over the top. And find a little twist. So we'll swing the right hand around, lift up, and then rotate. And let the body turn to the side. Inhale, draw high. And exhale. Guys, I think I'll take the rest of this class inside. So for our final Shavasana, before I become a feast. Let's take a few little moments, take a stretch here, and then rest. And I'll see you in a few moments from the home studio. We'll take a final little relax. Hello everybody, welcome back to the Happiness Home Inside Studio, where we'll take a little relax as we come closer to Shavasana. So we just released out the spine with our spinal twist. I'm going to move some of these pillows out of the way. So we can come down to the floor for the final part of our class. So just bring yourself all the way down. You might want to take a few moments and just lower and elongate the spine as you find the earth. Oh. And then reach the hands above the head and take a big full body stretch. Let the exhale just begin to broaden the shoulder blades at the back, let the toes fall out. As you inhale, come back into that big long line, one column, one pillar of energy. As you exhale, that's spreading. I'm just practicing for later on when we find Shavasana. Reach everything out. And exhale. Drop everything down. Keep that spread across the sacrum, so you're broad across the seat as you step the feet back in. A few little rocks and rolls through the hips until the low back can drop and descend into the floor. Those muscles want to stay relaxed for this part of the practice. All right, beautiful. From here, we'll gather the right knee into the chest. We'll bring the hands around and lace them onto the right shin, and then we'll gather the right knee in. Let the shoulders drop down. Maybe close your eyes, and you're welcome to have the left leg pressed to the floor here. You might want to take the left leg up nice and high. And flex into the foot, draw the right knee in, and then slowly lower the left leg down. Nice and slow. Just working into the core and feeling that stretch come into the left thigh as you increase the angle of the hips. Let the shoulders grow soft, and we'll hold for time on this one. Such a beautiful release out into that deepest hip flexor. It's a nice little massage to the belly too, and to keep the back of the neck long. A few slow breaths in, and a few slow breaths out. When you're ready, we're going to move it into Ardha Ananda Balasana, half happy baby's pose. So you might want to step that left foot back in. You can keep it elongated if you want. I'm going to take the right hand and just hold it onto the right thigh as we flex the foot, take it up to the sky, and open up further across the hips. And that might be enough for you. Might just be gently bracing. Maybe left hand comes down, keeps left hip heavy if you've got the leg to the floor. Maybe the right hand can come up and grab a hold. But if you have to lift your head or your shoulders to do that, I want you to take an easier variation. I'm just going to relax. So we've prepared the body before. Think of our telephone as we're rolling the leg back. And if your balance is slipping, if you're feeling that you're rocking across that pelvis, I want you to draw that foot in. For 5. Drop a little deeper. 4. So coming being on the earth. And 3, grounding the other hip, heel is heavy. And 2. And 1. And draw the leg in. Guide it back to center so the knees in line with the hip. And then slide the hands underneath. And we'll take a little hamstring stretch. Release out the ankles too, because we worked through some grounded postures. Those foundational postures in our standing poses, so maybe tensioned a little bit into those ankles, so just release them out. You don't have to have a straight leg. There's no necessity to getting the leg there. You can take the hand up and go a little bit deeper if that's for you today. Pull the right hip back to keep the right side waist long. Let the exhale drop you to the floor. Might be a nice time to give yourself a little calf massage. Calves are always tight. Oh. Maybe you're like, I'm going to get on the foam roller. 5 and 4 and 3 and 2 and 1. Draw the knee in. We're going to slowly travel over onto the left side. So we're going to roll, roll, roll. And then if it's right for you, you can take that right leg out and just have a L shape through the legs. Your right hand can come down. If there's any pulling in that right shoulder, just have your right hand in line with your right hip. We won't come up for that full 90 degrees. If you can, right hand can come up. Today I'm going to take a gentler version just because we worked a lot through the shoulders with those rotations today. So if there's any pulling there, just bring the right hand down a little bit. It'll be less tension on the shoulder. Notice the breath. Invite it to be long and easy. Fill up the lungs. Empty the lungs out. Fill up the lungs. And empty the lungs out. One more time. Big breath in. Big, juicy breath out. When you're ready, knee comes back into the chest. Slowly rock back to center. We'll put the right leg on the floor and left leg on the floor. Just because often we shift from the midpoint when we come into that twist and prepare for the second side. We'll draw the left knee into the chest. Reach the fingers around. Just going to move the microphone over a little bit so I can do this one with you. Draw the knees in and then elongate the right leg out. If that's your practice today, get heavy. Feel the ease of the exhale. It's going to let those shoulders fall down and relax the face. Watch the outflow of breath. It's where the release is. Breath in. Breath out. Breath in. And breath out. One more time, breath in. And breath out. Let's move it into that half happy baby's pose. So right hand might want to come down, anchor to the floor or to the hip. Left hand comes out. We're going to reach up and grab a hold of the outside of the foot. And then relax it down. Just come to whatever's right for your body today. You notice a pulling in that right leg. There's an unbalancing across the hips. Just rebend the right knee. Place the right foot back down on the ground. Then you'll have a two-pointed contact base. So you can move and position the body in a more intelligent way if that's not for you. Just keep moving with the breath. Let it drop you down a little bit deeper. Breath by breath. One more. And then we'll rebend the knee and we'll guide the leg all the way back to center. Zoop, back in line with the hips. Place the hands underneath the thigh. Extend the leg up to the sky. Look at those toes and release out your ankle. One way and the other way. Beautiful work. You're here at center. Hands might reach up. Reach, reach, reach. Find that angle, like scissor blades in the legs, if that's for you today. We'll keep the heads down a little bit lower. That might be your practice. This should be relaxing, not torturous. So take the version that lets the body know that it's releasing tension, not inviting new tension in. If your face is scrunching up, you're probably going a little bit too hard. Working with the breath, that rhythmic flow. Just let it wash away any worries in your mind. When you're ready, we'll draw a knee in. We'll use the hand and slowly peel ourselves over to the side. And then left hand can come out. So you'll notice that I've got the option to come all the way up, But today I'm going to take it a little bit easier on that shoulder joint. I can still find the rotation in the chest. And then I can work on extending that left leg out and keeping the right leg drawing down. So I've got a basic T shape through the body. You'll feel that move into the outer right hip, not just through the hamstring. And you'll also feel it in the back. So lots of benefits here. Yeah, chin's going to nestle over near that left shoulder. Relax out your neck here. Feel that flow, the breath coming into the body, filling you up, and the breath moving out. For 3 and 2 and 1. Drop a knee into the chest, come all the way back to center. Reposition the body. And get yourself wiggled into shape. And then extend the body out to find Shavasana. So you might want to have something propped underneath the knees here. You might want to have the knees bent and the legs supporting each other. You might want to hog the bed. That's my favorite version of Shavasana, where you spread out and you take up space. You're like, this is all mine. And if you're at home, there is so much extra space you can fill. Take a few slow, deep breaths in and a big audible sigh out. 2 more. Sigh it out. Last one. Sigh it out. And let go, relax. So I'll stay with you for a few minutes, but if you would like to take an extra long practice, let me write you a permission note right now. You are allowed to take as long as you want, marinating in the beauty of this pose, in this place of surrender. We can let everything go, and there's real freedom in just existing mindfulness in the body and flowing with breath, letting that unification, that joining together of mind and body be a balm for any of the troubles of the mind or any of the troubles of the body. When the two come in, their energies meet, there's often a peace that we don't experience for the rest of the day. So allow yourself to get grounded and comfortable in that peace. Let it permeate every cell of your body. Let the breath, the pranic element, that life force infuse you at a cellular level, recharging every fiber, every molecule of your being. Keep resting. Take as long as you need to nourish your body. I'll see you on the mat soon. Namaste.